Alright. Let's talk about the elephant ass in the room. The anti-hunting petition / bill. Because whether or not it's got enough signatures, these asshats that fucking wanted to start this they're going to go and put it up for the vote. And then they're going to turn around and they're probably going to pass it without y'all motherfuckers. Even though I know there's a lot of people who will vote against it. My vote is particularly held in dissident, but still, I'm wanting to relate this information to you. Keep your eyes peeled for it, because it will be coming. I know there's this thing about, oh, well, they didn't get enough signatures. That's what my mom and my sister gave me. That's the spiel that they told me. Oh, well, it didn't get enough signatures. It's not going to pass. Don't worry about that. It's not even going to get off the ground. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what? I wish that was the case. I really do. Because the petition that I saw out of Virginia had about, what was it again, guys? Was it like 196? 195? It wasn't quite the 200 mark. That's my point. And, well, we all saw how that went. Y'all, sorry, but I told you a long time ago I don't buy bull whistles. I done had enough of that shit. Thank you. I don't rightly know how else to put it. And no, by the way, I'm not looking at a script. Here. See? No script, no screen, no scripting. It's all just nothing there. Okay? No script, no screen, no nothing. No teleprompter, no nothing. Just staring off into space, as I often do. I know that's been a question in the past. No, I'm trying to fathom how anybody would think that the way that you garner goodwill is to piss off people who might be your opposition. Like, that's not how you garner goodwill. I'm just pointing this out. Okay, this is why, as a absolutist when it comes to the Second Amendment. When I say the absolutist, I mean you need to understand the particular context of the Second Amendment all the way through. I've explained it succinctly, down to its letter, as to why it's not even a right, it's your responsibility. But being an absolutist on that, I will still turn to the hunting community and say, gentlemen, ladies, this cannot pass, and you know it. You can't let it. I mean, I know my vote is in dissonant as a peaceful form of protest, but you who still hold your votes as valued, okay, you need to find out. You need to learn that it doesn't matter and that you're not going to vote your way out of this. So please go vote against this. When it comes up in your region and in your county or your section of the state to be set to the vote against it. Even if you're against hunting. Go vote against it. Go see if it works. Why? Because I'm trying to impart to you an understanding that I got from living in California. And you guys say, well, all these Californians coming here are going to vote like Californians again. No, not voting like a Californian. Came here from California, watched this shit happen in California. Turned my vote to dissident because of what happened and what I watched happen. Tried to get other people to see what was going on, but they were like, oh no, just we got outvoted, man. That's all it is. Still believe that? You still believe you got outvoted? Then when you moved here to get away from that shit, you know what I'm saying then. You know that we got outvoted, just not really. We didn't get outvoted by our fellow Californians. There were a few dumbasses that were the useful idiots. The ones who, like what the feller I pointed out this morning, I woke up to that shit and was like, what the fuck are you saying? Do you understand anything that you just said? You literally say, well, we can't be cruel to animals, so we're going to be cruel to everything because we can't be cruel to animals. Everything. Plants, animals, people, cars, farms, everything. We're going to be harmful to everything because we don't want people to go out there and hunt and fish. Help to control the population so it does not overwhelm the available resources. We're going to imbalance it in the hopes that we will recover. This is why I say you're a useful idiot, sir. You allowed yourself to fall for this bullshit and took a paycheck for it. Because you got so much into your feelings that you did not recognize what the other people around you are doing. They are saving your ass from being mauled while you walk down the street in the middle of Portland or Salem or wherever you are. My point remains the same. The reason why the wild animals fear human beings is because we still actively go out and hunt them. It is an ingrained instinct. For that reason, large predators, many of the deer populations across the states, they are that way because people go and hunt them. Which protects you, it protects your children, it protects your animals. Because hunters go out every year into the woods. And they show those animals that are out there, humans can still kill you. And we refrain from it for the most part. You're going to create the New Jersey bear problem here. You're going to create the California puma problem here. And you're going to create the Texas and Arizona coyote problem here. You're going to create the hog issue here. And you don't realize it because you are so far into your feelings that you do not understand that there is a necessity for culling. The reason why Houdini gets to live here safe and alive and happy is because wild dogs are often hunted. Coyotes are hunted a lot to keep their population in check. That's why you have such nice things at home, like cats and dogs, ferrets, your little birds. You know how many times I have gone out to an aviary, my dad's or my grandma's or my former employer's aviary, and had to shoot a possum off of the top of it, or a raccoon off of the top of it, or run them off of it. You know how many times I've had to do that? It's so many times that I didn't care to count them all. Do you know how many times I've had to shoot rats in this backyard to protect my chickens? And what you're saying is, you can't do that, because that's cruel. So it's cruel to keep my animals healthy. It's cruel to keep you from being attacked while you're out there walking around in the woods enjoying them. It's cruel to prevent you from being harmed by predatory creatures that still call this country home. When you go out and you mushroom farm, it is cruel to go out and make sure that the deer stay far enough away from you so that you don't get stomped to death. Okay. I hope you get what's coming to you. Because here's the thing. I'm still going to be legally allowed to defend my animals. The state legislature cannot take that away. It'd be illegal. It actually conflicts with the state laws. Same reason I could still walk around with my black powder pistols on my hips as long as they are visible. Same damn reason. I'm still going to be legally allowed to go and defend myself if one of those animals attacks me. I'm still going to be able to legally go and enjoy the woods. I just won't be able to fish and I won't be able to hunt. But I'll be allowed to carry my guns. I'll be allowed to cut wood. Be allowed to do all this other shit. But you won't see somebody dragging a deer out of the woods. Oh, yay for your feels. You won't see somebody with, a bear that they were proud to shoot. Oh, yay for your feels. You won't see a father and son hunt in this state. And there's some people who can't afford to go to another state and hunt there. Oh, yay for your feels. And all because you got so far into your feels that you decided, oh, well, I'm going to go in. I'm going to make this impossible. And hey, look, they're willing to pay me for it. Anytime the government is willing to pay you to do something, you should stop and think about it real fucking hard. There's a reason why Minutemen don't get paid. They have to pay for it themselves. It's because there's a certain standard you have to stand to. and you have to hold to. Such as, I will not cross the line and stop you from being allowed to protest something that you feel is morally wrong. So long as you do not cross the line and attempt to utilize tyranny to stop something that I enjoy and consider a pursuit of happiness. If you want tyranny, there are countries you can go to that have plenty to go around. There's still countries where slavery is legal. Surprisingly to find out. You can go there and protest the slavery, see how it works for you. But here in the United States, there is no slavery and there is no tyranny. And it is because of people like me that there is not. If you go and you continue this route, you will be justifying your arrest. Just saying. You can be charged for doing that stupid shit, dumbass. Whether or not you got a paycheck for it, if you got a paycheck, that's actually worse. Because that's add-ons. I don't know if you knew that. If you make commercial income from an action that infringes on another person's rights, especially if it's one of your peers' rights, you can face jail time for that. Prison time. That's a no joke bullshit. No joke, no bullshit situation. You can face jail time for that shit. And just because you took it from the state does not protect you from that. I'm pointing this out because it's a reality. You still can be charged regardless of whether you received money from the state to do it. You can. So, argue with me all you want. Go and look it up. Look into the deep law, not just the surface level shit. Read it all. Because yes, you can. Get it out of here, dude. I don't want to play. I'm making a video. Come on. Du wirst aufhängen, wenn sie. My dog. Anyways. You see, you can be a hunter and not be cruel to animals. Nein. Ja, du wirst aufhängen. Really? You can do the hunting thing and be an animal lover. In fact, some of the greatest animal lovers I've ever met were some of the most lethal hunters in this country. Let that blow your mind. Some of the best care I've ever seen go for an animal was for beef cattle. Best health care I've ever seen for an animal. And the most compassionate care as well. Beef cattle. So, all of you people who are going to go and vote yes on this or whatever, whenever it comes up, just know you're jackasses. You're taking away that good care to those animals. You're taking away that safety and sanctuary to my animals. And you're taking away that safety and sanctuary that I provide for myself, for all of my neighbors, for my neighbors of other towns that are around this area. And there are a lot of them. You'd be surprised. I know I said it in another, like a live stream or something, that there's like 12 or 14 Pittsburghs in the United States. One of them's right down the road from where I'm at right now. There's a Pittsburgh right down the road. So, what was this about all this, right? I'm just saying, if you're not going to go and actually have half an ass about it, then don't half-ass it. Just don't even do it. Because here's the reality of this. You went out there and you picked up this piece of paper, signed that contract, said, thank you for my money, and went out and got a bunch of signatures. Anti-hunting. We're going to stop animal cruelty. And you probably didn't frame it as we're going to stop hunting. We're going to stop people from having agriculture. We're going to stop it. You didn't frame it like that. You framed it as what is still out there that's legally allowed to be, done when it comes down to what our animal cruelty laws say is not legal. That's not the same. That is not the same as it makes hunting illegal. It makes animal agriculture illegal. It makes any semblance of fishing illegal. That includes shellfish, that includes crustacean harvest, that includes the salmon fishing, and that includes everything down to fishing in your own aquarium. Just saying. That's literally what this whole thing is about. Stop you from providing yourself with sustenance that you yourself either grew or captured on your own with no help from the government. You see, they're still going to slaughter cattle in another city, state, what have you, and bring the meat here because there's still going to be a demand for meat. There's still going to be a demand for eggs. There's still going to be a demand for fur. There's still going to be a demand for fish. There's still going to be a demand for cheese. Still going to be a demand for milk. And not everybody enjoys bugs. Or fungus. I don't know if you knew that. Not everybody likes a fucking something that grows on dead things. It can cause you issues. You know what I'm saying? Like skin issues. Skin issues. You eat too much fungus. Or you don't wash your smelly ass. Just saying. You might want to actually live a little bit. Get out there and live real life. Stop sitting behind your computer and, frog marching around with your Dorito buddies. Go out and enjoy a trip fishing. Try it. You'd be surprised at how enjoyable it is. Carefully. Yeah, you. Anyways, You know, go out on a fishing trip. Go on a hunting trip. Learn about what's going on. And for those of you that are the already hunters out there, that'd be like, you know what? We're going to troll the shit out of this guy because he doesn't like hunters. You're also part of the problem. Sorry, but I don't bandy bullshit. If you don't want for this person to hunt with you, say something. But when it comes down to it, teaching them what hunting is good for, teaching them why hunting is good, it's a good thing. And I know the arguments he put up there of, oh, well, all these other technologies that exist are unrefined because they don't, there's no need for it, is the argument. No, there's need for it. There's need for it. But that does not mean that there's no need to hunt. A mountain lion will eat 20 deer in a year. That is an entire herd. 20 deer. One mountain lion. This is why deer populations explode. One mountain lion would rather eat 50 dogs than 20 deer because the dogs are smaller and easier to kill. A mountain lion would rather eat a unarmed human than a dog because an unarmed human doesn't have the teeth necessary to fight off that lion. A dog, that lion's still going to get bit a couple of times. And it might end up in an infection and it might kill the mountain lion. So going after a human is a whole lot less problems if that human is unarmed. You know what I mean by armed. I'm not just talking about a gun, I'm talking about having that attitude. My dog has more attitude than most you gun owners, I'm going to say. Just being honest. He's got more attitude than most of y'all. And to turn around this motherfucker sitting here like, well, I'm going to use legislation to destroy your lives, take away from you, and all this, that, and the others. I want you to understand, he is not the only person doing it. Not the only one. He was a paid circulator. Do you know what a paid circulator does? They get paid to introduce bills via petitions, getting signatures. If you're a paid circulator, you are paid by somebody. And who might be paying you? Exactly. Think about it. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. This is easy progression. It takes less than a couple of brain cells to rub together to sit there and understand, hey, hunters do a vital task that most people won't do. They're the reasons why your animals, your dogs, your cats are less often snatched up by coyotes than they would be. Most of the time, it's just because they're around. You'd be surprised. Before I moved here, my mom had a coyote come through the front window, trying to get at one of the cats. After I moved here, no. We had a bear in the backyard one time. I shot a tree. Not the bear. A tree. That bear has not been back. You might want to think about that when you say, oh, well, bears and this and that and the others won't attack people. Just, you just got to use different deterrents. Like what, genius? Bear spray? You know, that Sex Panther of bear deterrents? 60% of the time, it works every time. Just saying, it's not 100%. Not with bears. With people, it's a little bit more, not quite 100%, but it's a little bit more. That doesn't mean that it's 100% effective, and it does not mean that that should be your last and only resort. As a matter of fact, it should be your second or third go-to, if we're going to be honest. First go-to, words. Second go-to, hands. Third go-to, pepper spray. Fourth go-to, firearm. Why? Because a firearm is 100% effective, 100% of the time. It just matters if you put it on point and you make it effective. It's called having the guts to do what's necessary. It's not pretty. It's not something you want to do. It's not something you enjoy doing. It's something you have to do. And you didn't choose it. That alleviates your blame. Own that shit. That way you're less scared when the day comes and you have to stand to. Be ready. Cigarette keeps going out because of the rain. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, if folks didn't know, this side of my face is paralyzed, this side isn't. That's why I can smile with that side of my face, hold a cigarette in that one. Because, yeah, this side of my face isn't paralyzed. This side is. But this side of my face is what's fucked up. This side isn't. Took a bullet right there. Well, pellet, but still could have killed me a couple of inches this, one way or another. Could have killed me. A few inches down this way, boom, right in the neck. A few inches up this way, or right in the eye, right in the orbital, straight through back to the apricot. I got lucky, it smacked into my jawbone. That was fun. This wasn't. But even though this is the side of my face that's messed up, it's still the side of my face that actually works. It's kind of funny how that works, isn't it? Like, all of this from here, right, from here down, and then right around here. It's all paralyzed. think you can actually see that in this too. It's paralyzed. Smiling on that side is really hard. The reason being, a pellet gun. So again, about the hunting thing. You're not stopping people from hunting. They're gonna go do it. Air guns are just as lethal as firearms, and they're freaking way more quiet. You can make an air gun Hollywood quiet. Making a firearm Hollywood quiet takes a lot of work, a lot of engineering, and is really difficult. Making an air gun Hollywood quiet? Not that difficult. So, again, you're stopping lawful hunters, people who would be ethical about how they hunt, people who would go out there and do it a specific way so the animal's never in fear. The animal is most often, and I say most often because at that distance it's really hard to be 100%, and I'll grant you that, but it's still most often an ethical shot. So the animal does not suffer, or suffers for the least amount of time possible. And it's not just most hunters that do that. That's actually a law in some places. It's called ethical hunting law. Instead of just, hunting ethics, hunter ethics, which is something that you're supposed to do anyways. Most people don't pay attention to hunter ethics when they're being forced to do it. So if you're going to force people to not hunt, then you're going to force people to hunt unethically. And now you see what the actual repercussion for what you do is. You got up off your ass and you went and you did something, but you did the wrong thing. Because you weren't paying attention in the first place. That's why paying attention is more important than anything else. And what you pay attention to is just as important. So when you go out there in your world today and you see these goofballs, ignore them. When you see these pieces of legislation in the near future that crop up, fight them. And when it finally passes and you realize you are not voting your way out of this, people, well, I will say I told you so, but I'll also be there to stand shoulder to shoulder with you. Okay? Just telling you, you're not voting your way out of this. It's going to happen. It's a matter of time. They're going to get it to go through, and at that point, I'm not going to ask permission anymore. I'm not going to go and buy a license anymore because it'll be illegal to do so anyways. I'm not going to ask for permission. I'm not going to tell anybody I'm doing it. I'm just going to go do it. Because the alternative is death by 1,000 cuts. I survived California. I survived the stupidity that was California. I stood against the stupidity that was California. And I did it both at the ballot box and then at the soapbox. And then when it finally came down to the cartridge box, I went and I did my due diligence down in the South and up in the North and whatnot, and running around back and forth and helping people and doing this, that, and the other, doing my basic duties. Because, well, what else was there for me to do? So, again, do you want Oregon to be California? If you want Oregon to be California, why don't you just move back there? Why don't you move back there? You scared to move back there because you know it's a shit show. And that you allowed it to happen. The people like me, we didn't allow it to happen. We didn't have any choice. We were forced into it. And if you're going to force us into it here, guess what? It's on both fucking ends, motherfuckers. It's in California and it's in Washington. And it's worse in both places. What you have here is by a slim margin. Are you going to continue down that road? Because if you continue down that road, you're going to make the West Coast into the perfect amphibious assault zone, where there will not be a militia to back up the military. Which means that all you little soy Karen motherfuckers, you're going to be Chin Wang's bitch. I want to make it abundantly clear. When you get it to the point where there's no guns on this coast, you're going to be Chin Wang's bitch. You're going to be Xi Jinping's bitch. And guess what? I told you so is going to kind of come a little bit late then, isn't it? I want you to think on that real long and hard. The reason why the Japanese, supposedly, are the Japanese, refused to make a full assault on the American homeland, at least according to several different journalists of the time, scholars of the time, and I believe it was either Yamamoto or one of the other generals themselves, specifically said, an invasion of the homeland of the United States would be nothing less than insanity. For behind every blade of grass, there is a rifle, and a rifleman ready to use it. I want you to think real long and hard about why we were not invaded. Okay? That's going to change. It's already a possibility in two places. And you do not recognize this. You think, oh, well, the military will save us. Ask any soldier. Go ahead. Ask them. What happens when the military loses ground? Do they still get the civilians out? Do they still protect the civilians? Are the civilians even on their fucking radar? I want you to think about that. Because that's the situation here. I'm pointing out the 2A reality of taking away from deer hunters. Because the reason why, back then, there was the home guard. Back then, there was the National Guard. These were two completely separate entities. Now what is the case? There is no home guard. It's Minutemen, small paramilitary militias, and deer hunters. Or hunters in general. That's what stands between your little pansy ass and a bayonet to the lungs. Just being fucking real with you, dude. Just being real with all of you lefty peoples that might come through my chats or whatever. This is the reality of that. Of getting into your feelings rather than standing to what you know is right. Don't get me wrong. I get into my feelings. Shit, I was pissed as hell. I drove down to the gas station, filled up my tank, was about ready to go and do some fucking dangerous shit. When I stopped and I said, you know what, nah. I'm going to call my mama. I'm going to sit there and chat for a little while. I'm going to tell her my frustrations. I actually was calling her also to get gas money. But you know what? Neither here nor there. Getting my money for gas, I have to call her. What do you know? She's my financial advisor / executor. She has the control over my lump sum of money. And then I have control over my specific accounts. That's how that works. No, I'm not screwing my mom over. If anything, if she really wanted to, she could totally destroy my life. I don't think you recognize that. I'm not doing anything to my mom. Like I said, if she wanted to, she could fuck my life off. Entirely. She really could. And it would take a simple stroke of the pen. You do not understand how much sway my mother holds over me. Actual legal sway. Not fucking this bullshit of, oh, well, you know, I love my mom. Yeah, I do love my mom. She loves me. It is not a fuck over in any way for either of us. It is a mutually beneficial situation. I protect her home, so she has one when she wants to come up here. In turn, I get a place to stay. I still have to buy my own food. My Social Security either goes to my birthday present or my food. I don't get food plus my birthday present. I need to make that clear to somebody because they didn't fucking realize it back when I was saying, hey, I'm going to go hungry for a couple of weeks here because I want to get something for myself for my birthday. Amazing how that works, isn't it? I wanted something for me for my birthday because nobody else could get that for me. Nobody else would get that for me. So I had to take my money that I would normally utilize for food in order to get that thing. That does not mean that it was wasted. That does not mean that it was frivolous. That means that I made a sacrifice in order to control a victory. What? My mother did not get harmed in any way, shape, or form from that. Right now, I'm dealing with having to fix my truck. Unfortunately, I had to take it to the Chevy dealership because nobody else would work on it. Because they were all booked up. The people that I trust anyways. Yeah, there's an automotive shop that I went and I approved back in the day. It was like, hey, guys, go here. This is the place to go. They're the kind of guys to go to. They're the good guys. They're trustworthy. They were righteous with me. The man told me straight up. Didn't play games about it. Told me straight up. This is what you can do and it'll fix your problem. Do you want me to do that? Yeah, please do that. While you're at it, fix this issue. And what do I owe you? Allow me to get that money for you. Here's your money. Thank you for my keys. Amazing how that works. Because I trust those guys. Dealership, I trust their work. But you quoted me 5 different jobs individually, when we both know that they're all jobs that you do together. Yikes. Just saying. Not impressed. Now, if that was because you looked at my truck and went, oh, well, this guy doesn't really take care of this thing. It looks like a catastrophe in here. No, it's because I take care of the environment, jackass. There's a difference there. The inside of the cabin looks like garbage because the outside where I go, I don't leave garbage. Unlike some people who are interested in stopping people from hunting there. Oh, I'm well aware. So, you might want to pay attention to that when you go out there now. What trailers are sitting out there in the woods? Unattended. Who do they belong to? Why are they there for more than 2 weeks? Why are these people doing this? Why are there dump heaps there? This is not the dump. Pay attention to these things, people. Take photographs. Yes, I took photographs. Anytime I see something out there, and it's been there for way too fucking long, I'm going to take pictures. You bet your ass. You have 14 days for a domicile. And dumping, I'm going to catalog on the spot. Square and fair. And this is what a hunter does, by the way. This is what somebody who's an outdoorsman and a hunter and somebody who learned leave no trace does. You see somebody being a dipshit, you fucking take evidence. And then you make it public fucking knowledge, like I do. Because more than likely, Bureau of Land Management Ranger is going to come out, take a look at what they found, what you found, and be like, oh, okay, yep, physical proof right here. Okay, well, I know who owns this particular shit. Because it's on my readout, or it's somebody that I drove past their house just a couple of years ago and saw this sitting on their property. You really think that law enforcement are stupid, don't you? You really think that the rest of us that do this for, because it's our actual duties and we stand to that responsibility, you think we're stupid, don't you? For the same fucking reason, when people go and they badmouth ICE, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, jackass? That ICE officer is out there trying to save your ass. They're saving your job. They're saving your life. They're saving your children's lives. They are saving your sanity. And you're out there fighting them. Way to go. Just like cops. Most cops are actually good. What they do keeps the fucking real bad people from going and fucking you up. They stop good people from going a step too far. Think about that. They stop good people from becoming bad people. You might want to think about that before you go going, fuck the police. It's a service, jackass. Just like being a Minuteman. Standing there saying, no, he has the right to actually say that. No, you don't have the right to do that. Sorry, but, no, he has the right to do that. You realize that being a Minuteman is not as it's not as cut and dry line as most people think. Oh, I got to stand against the government, or I got to stand for the people, or this, that, or that. No, there's a fine line you walk. I have to stand against the government when they are tyrannical. I have to stand against people, the people, when they are dumbasses and go and do harm to other people. I have to back up law enforcement when they are defending people and protecting people. You might want to think about that for a second, because you are a Minuteman as well. Well, not really a Minuteman, but you're militia. You are the militia. Whether you like to be or not, that's entirely beside the point. Those of us who volunteered and actually put it down on our draft cards, we're Minutemen. The rest of you are the disorganized militia. And then there's the National Guard. See the difference now? Are you starting to actually conceptualize what is going on here? Do you recognize that the balance is there for a reason? And that you are breaking the harmony by sitting there and getting into your feelings instead of actually looking at things logically and understanding, hey, if the government is asking me to do something, I should question them. And I should question them like I question an AI. I'm going to fact check them and back check them and 3 times check them and figure the fuck out whether or not what they're saying is true or is propped up by bullshit. One thing I could say, Mon Fo Nam, at least was trying to do, I guess, according to them. I don't really care anymore. Dude, you crossed a fucking line. I don't care who you are. That was a line you don't cross. Like, I don't care if you're trying to get my attention. If you know me that well, call me. You have my phone number if you know me that well. I'm a fiction writer. This is just a reality. Apparently, I'm pissing off somebody down the road. Not like I give a shit. That, or they were yelling at someone else. Probably yelling at someone else. I'm actually fairly well liked around here. I don't try to go out there and bother anybody. I try to be kind and courteous to my neighbors. I actually do. I make an effort, which is a lot more than I could say for some people. I go out and I try to help people. Which is a lot more than I could say for some people. And I even put up with my dog's annoying antics. Because I love him. Not because I want to play hoodoo. Take that and get out of here with it. Go on. None. What was hoping with that? That's what I mean. Well trained. But you need to train. He has to know that I'm busy right now. I'm dealing with something right now. I'm working on something right now. I'm in the midst of something right now. And there's an important time for to play, and there's an important time for to do work. He understands this. That's a dog understands this. Is better trained and has better manners than most of the people I've seen on the internet. So you need to sit there, think about what you're doing before you do it. Don't just go at it. You know, I understand, oh, well, this is the proof to you that you need to learn how to ask permission. No. You need to learn how to not have to ask for permission. Think about it. Sure, it'll come to you.